Yo, so today I'm going to be going through the top 100 most searched questions around SMP. Coming in at number one is scalp micropigmentation permanent? This is a hard question because online there's a lot of debate. People saying no, people saying yes. What I'll say is it's not permanent like a tattoo, like a normal tattoo. The longest standing SMP that I've seen is 10 to 15 years and it's still sitting there. Over time, your SMP is going to get lighter and lighter. Now the question is will that just eventually drop out? My answer, what I think would happen is it would go so light that you could barely see it, and then you would just need a little touch of laser and then it would be removed. So is it permanent? Yes, because it has to be removed by laser. But see, when I say that, I'm almost reluctant to say it because laser seems like such a terrible process. And it is if you're getting a tattoo like I have on my arm removed. But when you're getting SMP removed and it's done properly, it is very, very easy. It's a very light procedure. And if you have SMP and you've had it for a while and it's starting to fade out, it's very easy to remove. So I guess the answer to that question is yes, it is permanent. The second is scalp micropigmentation haram? So haram means to go against Islamic law. And from me actually Googling the question that someone's Googled is in December 2016, SMP is allowed as it's used as a treatment and an ailment. So the ruling is below. The Council of Islamic Law doesn't actually say. Oh, it says yes because it's treating an ailment. So yes. I mean, no, it's not haram. You can do SMP if you are Muslim. And I've actually tattooed a Muslim person, so I should have known the answer to that. Is scalp micropigmentation safe? A lot of these questions have a long-winded answer. It's safe if you choose the right practitioner, but it's not dangerous in the sense like surgery or something like that. It's a very non-invasive. It's literally the top layer of your skin that's being penetrated. It's not like a tattoo. It's not like a surgery. So it's safe in that regard, but it is dangerous with the practitioners that are out there. But that is going to be the same in basically anything that you look at getting in the beauty and cosmetic industry. So is it safe? With the right practitioner, definitely, 100%. Is scalp micropigmentation painful? I'm going to say no, because I've had it done. I didn't think it was painful. I thought it was annoying. I thought, after laying there for, I think we did a 5 hour sitting or something like that. At the end of the 5 hours, I was just over it and I wanted to go home. It wasn't because I was in excruciating pain. Other parts were more annoying than others. And the reason why I use the word annoying, and I think annoying is the best way to explain it, is because when I get a tattoo done, a proper tattoo, that hurts. 100% that hurts. You cannot dispute that it doesn't hurt. And the ratio of people who actually say that SMP hurts them is, I would say, probably 1%. I would say out of 120 clients I've had, I've probably had one person, or actually probably two people who can't bear the feeling. But with those people as well, I've found if I distract them, that they tend to not feel the pain as much. So it's definitely a mental thing. It's not an actual pain. It's more of an annoyance. I've had a client say, "Ow, this hurts, it hurts," and then fall asleep. So I can't fall asleep during a tattoo. It's obviously didn't hurt him that much. But yeah, I would say it's more mental than anything. I had 2 Panadols on my second session and I didn't feel a thing. It was very easy. But it's just one of those things that the longer the sitting, the more annoying it gets, and you get quite irritated. But I wouldn't be worried about it being a harsh pain, like, getting tattooed on your elbow or your inner thigh and stuff like that. That really hurts. But so no, it is not painful. The next question is scalp micropigmentation a tattoo? Yep, it's a tattoo. There's so many people who be like, it's cosmetic tattoo, and I've said that for a long time as well. But it is a tattoo. It's just a different procedure to a tattoo. So the difference is that a normal generic tattoo goes a lot deeper into the skin. We sit a lot lighter into the skin. So it's a tattoo, but a very light version of a tattoo. And also as well, we use slight different needles and different inks. But I would still say, I like calling it a hair tattoo. I don't like calling it a cosmetic tattoo. That's just me. I guess, is it the same as a tattoo? No. But it is a tattoo. Is scalp micropigmentation worth it? For me personally, yes, 100%. I've never had someone who has got the treatment done and then thought that it wasn't worth it. I'm yet to hear that. The only time that I've seen or heard about that is when they got a bad treatment done. That's the only time. Because it's, in reality, like, even if you don't care, because I did not care about my hairline at all. I literally got it done because I thought it would be a good idea because I am an artist. But I really like the treatment now. And the thing I'd say is it is an improvement. So if you're making an improvement, of course it's going to be worth it. How worth it? It really depends on the person. I've seen people who are just over the moon and it's completely changed their personality. Other people, it's a new look, they like it, they just keep moving. But it is definitely worth it. Is scalp micropigmentation a good career? Shit. That's a very hard question. I think it's I love it. I think it's awesome. But I would say if you are looking to get into it, is definitely err on the side of caution. It's unlike any other business that I've started, the upfront costs on marketing and getting clientele is more expensive and harder than anything that I've actually tried or done, because there is nowhere that you can actually just go and seek out bald people. They are very reluctant to talk about being bald. They're very reluctant. It is very new as well. My days are spent tattooing, then calls and doing all the other admin stuff like that. Is it a good career? I'm loving it, but it is definitely a personal thing. And if this, I'm guessing this person who's asked, is it a good career, is thinking about this as a career. What I will say is go and shadow someone who is an artist. If you know someone, offer them some money just to come in and check out what a day in the life looks like. I think I've done a video, a day in my life of being an artist. But yeah, try it before you buy it, before you buy a course or anything like that. Do your research. Try tattooing on some fake skin. Try watching someone. Just see if it's something that you think you would be interested in. It is a good career, but then everything's a good career if you enjoy it. I'm one of, maybe 100 people to come out of my training school that actually has stuck to it. So just like everything else, there is no really good and bad. It's just personal. It's just a personal thing up to the person. All right, next question. Is scalp micropigmentation noticeable? No, it is not noticeable. Anybody who tells you that it's noticeable, that's because they got a shit treatment or they've seen a shit treatment. I've never had anyone notice my SMP. I have pointed it out on countless occasions. I've never had a single one of my clients walk out into the world and someone go, hey, look, you've got SMP. It's not like that at all. It's what normally happens is people will be like, oh, there's something different about you, and they can't quite put their finger on it. Or the craziest one is like guys who have friends for like 20 years and they're like, oh, you grew your hair out. It looks really nice. They didn't grow their hair out. They've been bald for 20 years. It's just SMP. So no, it is not noticeable. And if it is noticeable, it is a terrible treatment, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to replicate a hair follicle to make it look like stubble. So if I do a bad job of that, which I don't, if someone does a bad job of that, that's when it becomes noticeable. That's when it sort of stands out. But no, it's not noticeable. You shouldn't notice it. Can scalp micropigmentation cause hair loss? I've had a fair few people ask this, and I understand the fear. The fear is that the ink is going to get into your hair follicle and it's going to make the hair follicle die. No, that does not happen. It doesn't go deep enough to hit the hair follicle. And also, there is research around, I don't know if anybody watching this has seen the rollers that they use on the head. With SMP, it's a similar thing to that. It's just sort of like needling on your head, which is actually going to promote hair growth more likely than kill it. So it cannot cause hair loss at all. And actually on top of that is that if you get SMP and get it lasered, that still isn't going to kill any of the hair. I've spoken to a laser practitioner as well with this. Doesn't happen. So no. Next question, can scalp micropigmentation be removed? Yes, it can. But if you have a bad job and that person has either used the wrong inks or a heavy hand and they have dwelled a little bit too much into the skin, it does mean it's going to be harder to remove. Still easier than a tattoo, but harder. Now, if it is done properly, when done properly, scalp micropigmentation sits in the very top layer of the skin, and it is a very subtle treatment. So when you go to get laser and someone's done it properly, it will be removed seamlessly and easily. So if you're thinking about getting it done, and you get it done by somebody properly, you could just change your mind afterwards and get it removed. Like I said, I've never had someone remove it, but, you know, people change their mind. People change their style. Maybe they don't want a hairline. It does look better, but yes, it can be removed easily when done properly. Oh shit, the next one is, can scalp micropigmentation cause cancer? I've never looked into this, but I'm going to say no. I don't think it can. I hope not, because I got it done. Then we got, does it hurt again? No, doesn't hurt. It's annoying. Yeah. Does it look real? Yes. Does it damage the hair follicles? No. Does scalp micropigmentation fade? Yes, 100% it does fade. So the ideal situation is that you would get your SMP done and then, say, depending on your lifestyle, 3 to 5 years, or even sometimes I've seen up to 8 years, it will be very light. A lot of it will have dropped out. And then you go back in and you get what's called a touch-up. So it's basically refreshing all the old ink with new ink, putting back in anything that's dropped out, and basically you're going to have your SMP looking similar to when you first got it done. Does scalp micropigmentation grow hair? Well, like I was saying before, the skin needling on your head has been proven to promote hair growth. So I'm not going to say yes, I'm not going to say no, but it's if you're thinking you're going to be Elvis Presley after your SMP, no. How scalp micropigmentation works. So basically how it works is we tattoo dot-like impressions that look like your hair follicle shaved down to a stubble or zero to recreate the look of hair. And yeah, that's what it is. It's just basically recreating those follicles to look like hair. So we tattoo dots on dots in different variations with different ink strengths, different dwell time to fill in the bald spots to make it look like hair. So if you were to imagine a guy with a full head of hair and he shaves his hair down to 0 or uses a handheld shaver and shaves it all the way down to 0 sort of stubble. That's what we recreate with SMP. It's basically going to make it look like you have a shaved head and a good hairline. So that's how it works. We do tons and tons of dots to recreate that look, and then it looks like you have a stubble. How much does scalp micropigmentation cost? It really depends on the size of the treatment. So if you're to imagine front of my head all the way back to the crown, sort of that friar tuck, that will set you back roughly on the size of your head, probably like $2,800 to $3,000. If you've got a smaller head and it's a bit of an easier job, $2,500. Then if you're to imagine cut that price in half, that's for a front hairline. So say $1,200 to $1,500. And then if you're just getting your crown done, filled in, about $1,200. So $1,200 to $1,500 for front section crown, the whole thing $2,500 to $3,000. Now, if you have alopecia or you've lost everything, so even around the sides, then that's going to cost anywhere up to $5,000, and it's a very, very long, extensive treatment. How is scalp micropigmentation done? Like I said before, it's tattooing impression-like dots to look like hair. And then we got how much again, how to do it. How do you do SMP? So you get a needle, you get some inks, and you get a machine, and you tattoo dots. That does sound very simple, but that's sort of like explaining like how do you do boxing. You put your wraps on, you put your gloves on, and then you punch the bag. That's simple. But like we know, you look at any professional boxer, there's years and years and years of work in that. It's exactly the same as what we do. So what we're doing is, I heard this one artist say, we are pressure doctors. No, pressure practitioners or something like that. So basically, every single scalp is going to need a different sort of pressure to create that perfect follicle impression, sorry. So basically, my job every single day is just managing that pressure. What's too light, what's too dark. And a good practitioner will always err on the side of light until it looks right. That rhymed, I didn't mean it to. So to explain that a little bit more simply is the pressure of my hand going into and the needle going into the skin. So we look at heaps of things like the sound, the feel, the look, the ink strength, the needle size, many different things to make sure that dot is perfect. Then we do that 15,000 times over the whole entirety of the head. So that's how you do it in the most basic way that I could explain it. How long does scalp micropigmentation take? I'm going to say just for myself, how long it takes me to do a treatment. I do 3 sessions, and in those 3 sessions, there's 4 hours per session, and that's for sort of the friar tuck that I was talking about, so front, back to the crown. So that's 3 sessions of 4 hours, so what's that, 12 hours. Then I do a 4th, which is just a final check over, which might take 2. So roughly around 14 hours to get the whole head done. That's for myself. Some people, if you're a beginner, it's going to take you forever. Like my first session took me like 8 hours. And I did like 5 of them, so I don't know what the math is on that, but it was a long time. And as you progressively get better, you can do it faster. Yeah. So I would say 10 to 15 hours is what you'd be looking at. How long does it take? All right, the next one I think is going to say, how long does it take to heal? It depends on the person, but not very long. For myself, I would say probably 48 hours, not very long at all. Some artists will tell their clients not to go to the gym for a week and out of the sun and everything like that. You don't want to get it sunburnt. You don't want to scratch it. You don't want to go into chlorinated pools. You don't want to have direct heat in the shower, and you don't want to sweat like you're in a sauna. Staying out of the gym for at least 24 to 48 hours, and that's it. But the redness is going to stick around for a day, maybe two, at max two, and then it's healed. Then after that, it's going to settle a little bit. It's going to settle a little bit of a lighter color. So yeah, I'd say 48 hours as a general rule for everybody, and it's pretty well healed. How much in the UK? What is scalp micropigmentation again? What size needle is used for scalp micropigmentation? So I have a needle here actually. So the size of the needle that is used, we use a 3RL. So what that means is there's 3 little needles creating one. Then the sizes are 4, 6, 8, and 10. So there's 4 different sizes. The 10s don't get used as much. The 4s don't get used as much. It's more the 6s and the 8s. But it comes down to the artist. I can use any size and make basically any impression because it's all down to the pressure that I use on my hand. But yeah, you see that there? I don't think you can see it. But anyway, that's the size of the needle. So if you think 3, so that's 3 needles. So it's not just one going in and out, it's 3. Some people use the 1. I have the 1s. I don't use them. I don't prefer them. I've spoken to tattoo artists and SMP artists. The majority it's the 3. Though I don't like the results after the 1. And I've seen some terrible horror jobs just using the 1. One time, when there is some instances where we do use a 1, so a 1 is a single needle, and we use a 10 or a 20, is sometimes to do strokes in the front of the hairline. But for the vast majority, we use a 3. So if you're looking for an artist and you ask them about the needles and they use 1RLs, don't go to them. Sorry to anyone who uses 1RLs, but you're not the majority. The best artists in the world don't use it. So either you're delusional and think you're better than them, or you're wrong. What to expect after scalp micropigmentation? Heaps of dates with heaps of chicks. No. Yeah, like I was saying before, it's more people are going to look at you and have a sort of like, like when after you get a haircut, or I don't know, you get a little bit fitter, or you get a tan, and they're like, oh, there's something different about you. That's what you're going to get. Like, oh, you look good. There's something different about you, and they won't be able to put their finger on it because they don't know what they're looking for. It would take an SMP artist to actually see it. Scalp micropigmentation Australia, Perth. Where to get scalp micropigmentation? The best place that I've seen is East Coast Herring. No. Where to get it? Jeez, that's tough. I think where to get it would come down to you doing your research and looking at the artwork that the artist portrays on their Instagram. Then also talking to the artist, make sure that they're genuine. A lot of people are just in a huge money grab for SMP at the moment, which is just, it's hindering everybody. You really just got to make your own judgment there. And don't go with the cheapest. Like, there is people who charge a lot who are shit too, but a good rule is if somebody's, like, I'll do a discount and stuff like that when I'm quiet, but if you've got someone who off the bat is just dirty cheap and doesn't do very long sessions, don't go see them. I could probably do a whole podcast on that. Should I get scalp micropigmentation? Honestly, it really depends. If you've got a great bald head like The Rock or like Vin Diesel, you know how they just suit a shape, then just rock that. But if you don't like it, then you can change it. But overall, the answer is going to be yes. If you've got the money to look after yourself, then I think 100% get it done. I was surprised at how much I enjoy having it. I never thought I would enjoy it at all, but like as you can see, my hair growing out at the moment looks so much fuller. And I personally like it. All right, who does scalp micropigmentation? Me. How to scalp micropigmentation? Jeez, we are scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Which celebrities have had scalp micropigmentation? That's a good question. I know no one massive, but I have heard that. I say no one massive, then I'm about to say something huge. But the only one that I know of is Floyd Mayweather. I know that he's had a transplant, and I also know that he's had SMP. I could be wrong, but I reckon he has. I know that there's a few artists in America who have done some big names in the rap game and stuff like that, but obviously they would have signed non-disclosures, so there's not much information around that. I really want this to happen. I don't even care if it's me. Should I get it done? Where can I get it done? Who does it? What is it? Who invented it? I have no idea. I actually don't know that question. I know it came out of England, supposedly. But then everybody who's been in the industry for more than 8 years thinks that they invented it. So I invented it then. Who can perform scalp micropigmentation? Fucking anybody. It's stupid. There is no qualification. There's no governing body. The certificates that you see are printed on a piece of paper and then laminated. I actually have one, but I'm actually proud of that one because I did a master's class with a fantastic artist and I'm super stoked to be there. But I don't put my beginner's certificate because I actually never got one. But I don't care. Who can perform it is probably someone who's put a lot of time and effort into practice and then practicing on models as well and very cautious and cares about the end result and has put a lot of time and effort into it. That's who I personally think should. Who can? Anybody. Any dickhead with a tattoo gun. I didn't mean to call you a dickhead, but there is a lot of dickheads with tattoo guns. Who is the best scalp micropigmentation? It's a hard one. So there's a lot of different styles and stuff like that, and it's just dots, but there's so many different ways of doing it. There is no best. Should I get it? Where should I get it? Should I get scalp micropigmentation? Yes. Will it fade? Yes, it will. Geez, we got this in here again. Is scalp micropigmentation haram? No, it's not. Is it safe? Yes, it's safe. Does it look real? Yes, it looks real. Is it painful? No, it's annoying. Does it hurt? No, it's just annoying after a while. I have 8 out of 10 clients fall asleep. Does it work? Yes, it works. Can it be removed? With the right practitioner, removed very easily. Can't cause hair loss, can't cause cancer. I can't believe the cancer question's in here twice. Whoever's spreading the rumours that it can cause cancer, I'm gonna fucking find you and give you a flogging. Should I get it done? Can women get scalp micropigmentation? I've said it so many times, it's, Jesus Christ. Yeah, women definitely can. I've tattooed a woman who was actually balding. At the back, it was quite emotional for her and me to see a lady go through something like that. But yes, definitely, if you're a lady and you're thinning, you can make it look thicker. So it's not just for bald people, and it's not just for bald men. It's people with, like you can see with my hair, I have long hair. Well, I don't have a shaved head and I have SMP. It just makes it look thicker. It gives that illusion. So ladies with long hair, if you're starting to thin out through there, don't shave your head. Well, you can if you want to. I've seen it works for some people. But yeah, you can get scalp micropigmentation on your head, and what that does is it removes that sort of reflection that you get that makes it look thin. Can you have blonde hair or grey hair? You definitely can have blonde hair and you can have grey hair. When you shave your head down, it's all the same, just slightly lighter. Is it a tattoo? All right, I'm going to touch on this again. It's a tattoo. Maybe I should call it a cosmetic tattoo, because I think the connotations around tattoo is scary. So I'm going to go back on what I said earlier, and that it's a cosmetic style tattoo. I'd like to call myself a tattooist, a hair tattooist. I think that sounds cool. And I think more people are warming up to that name for SMP, because I think SMP sounds stupid. But anyway, is it a tattoo? Sort of. Does it hurt? No. Near me. Training. For training. Density. All right, I think we're pretty much through. Oh, here we go. Scalp micropigmentation with a buzz cut. Now, talking about haircuts is if you have, you might, so basically if you want to bring your hairline down a significant amount, you can come down a little bit and still keep your hair. So completely rearrange it, so bring the whole thing down. You do have to shave your hair back. Now, if you have a little bit of hair, you can keep a little bit of length. As you can see, I still get a fade. I have many clients who keep a 0.5 to a 1 on top. As long as you've got a little bit of hair there to work with, we can do that. But if you're bald, fry a tuck, sorry brother, you're going to go down to 0. Without shaving your head, you don't have to shave your head. And honestly, like I can do, even with the most receded hairlines, I can still keep a little bit of hair and make it look nice. When does it not work? It doesn't work when you have a shit artist, hair tattooist. I'm going to make that stick. All right, now we got, can you get it after you've had a transplant? Yes, you can. You can get it before, you can get it after. I think transplant and SMP work so well together because we can sort of make that, you know, when someone gets a transplant, it looks very sparse hair. It sort of looks like a comb that's been thrashed a bit. So if you get SMP with the hair transplant, if you've got that sort of money, fucking looks awesome. The sun. So you don't want to get it sunburnt fresh out of getting it done. And also you don't want to expose it to excessive sunlight. Put some sunscreen on, but you want to get a good natural sunscreen. So you can get it in the sun, but you don't want to roast it. Like the same as tattoos. You know, if you sit out in the sun every single day, they're going to fade faster. SMP and minoxidil, you can take minoxidil. So what that is a promoting cream that promotes hair growth. Any regrets? Regrets is only if you see the wrong practitioner, because I can't see, I've never seen anyone regret it after seeing the right person. After 5 years, it's going to be lighter. You probably will need a touch up at that point. Cost, I went through that. FUE, transplant, and SMP combined. Yep, good, great idea. Geez, another one on haram. It's not haram. Can you use hair dye after SMP? Yes. Can you use Rogaine? Yes. Can you exercise? I did straight after, but I was cautious about sweating too much. Give it 24 hours. 24 hours if you've got olive complexion, 48 hours if you're a white boy. Microblading. Okay, so I've only seen 2 results with the microblading where they try to blade the hair in and it looks shit, and I personally think that's fucked, but one day it might be great. So basically what that is they cut the skin open sort of like they do on an eyebrow. I don't think that has its place on someone's head. PRP, I know that some people are getting some good results with that. Basically they take, I think they take like blood out of you and mix it up and then put it back into your head. It's obviously more complex than that, but it costs a lot of money. And will it promote a little bit of hair growth? Yes. I'm just going to be biased and say SMP is way better because you're guaranteed a result. Hair transplant versus SMP, there is no versus. There is no versus. They both work hand in hand. Transplant is a long hair procedure. So somebody who, if you have just a little bit missing and you want to keep long hair, then a hair transplant for you. If you don't have that sort of money, you can make what you've got look a little bit thicker. So transplant is pulling the hair from the back of your head, putting it on the front of your head. And what we do is tattooing hair follicles. So there is no versus. There is no better or worse. They just do two different things. SMP, scalp micropigmentation versus a tattoo. Well, I like my tattoos, but I like my SMP. It's up to yourself. After 10 years, it's probably gone. If the artist has done a good job. It's very light at that point. Very light. You need to touch up, bro. If it's still hanging around after 10 years, you got a good job. I've heard of that happening too. The benefits, you look good. Disadvantages, finding a shit artist. Equipment, machine, needles, inks. Scalp micropigmentation on eyebrows. I've seen that. I would probably recommend just go sit in eyebrow tattoos. But anyway, SMP fail. Yeah, some people do fail. Alright, Groupon. I used to have an ad on Groupon. I don't anymore. They take way too much of your money. Alright, the rest of it looks like... This one says, SMP looks fake. Well, you've obviously seen a shit treatment, bro. The needles, I've gone through that. Online training. I think online training is great. You're not going to get that in-person interaction, but the reason that I like it is because it's cheaper and it lets a person try and get started. And because in-person training is $6,500 normally, so it's a lot of money to invest, and then maybe it's not for you, you know. So yeah, I would say find a good online course and have a crack. I don't know about actually tattooing someone after an online course. I think that's a bad idea. I've thought of different ways that I would do something like that. And I've seen a lot of the training that's out there online. No one who's done that online training should go and tattoo someone. But, you know, you're 100% committed, go to an in-person training, get it done properly, do your training properly, then get started. But if you're dabbling with the idea, online training is an awesome idea. So the way you would do that is you would do the online training, then decide that you like it, you've been trying it, you've been practicing, then go in and do a one-on-one with somebody, which would probably end up costing similar. If you just, you know, did a one-on-one shadowing with somebody for a day or two or something like that. Can you get SMP done on your crown? 100% you can. Removal is easy, recovery is easy, results are fantastic from me. Up close, it looks great versus PRP. Geez, the haram thing's in here 3 times. What is it? Again, YouTube. Yes or no? How many sessions? 3 to 4 sessions. Anyone who's doing less than that, they are not taking their time. Alrighty, so I just scrolled through 360 of the most frequently asked questions. Now, if you want me to elaborate on any of these further, please send me a message. I'm always more than happy to talk if you could not tell already. But thank you guys for watching, and I hope that was helpful to someone at home. Peace.